Page number 40.
Punah.
Yes. Punah Pratna, yes. Page number 40. Jai Shri Panchatattva Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More.
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 Toma bina ke Jagat samsare Patita pavana hetu Tava Mushama patita Prabhu na paive ara.
Mushama patita Prabhu na paive ara.
Ha Prabhu Nitya Advaita Goshai
Daya Koro Sitapati
तव कृपा बाले पाय चैतन्य निताय।
तव कृपा बाले पाय चैतन्य निताय।
हा स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ।
स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ।
भक्त जुगा श्रीजीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ।
जुगा श्री जीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ।
दया करो श्रियाचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास।
दया करो श्रियाचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास।
रामचंद्र संग मागे नरोत्तम दास।
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 श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया कर मोरे।
दया करो मोरे।
तोमा बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे।
तोमा बिना के दयालु जगत संसार।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare।
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantara Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Vrinda Devi Dasi Maharani ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki, Hitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Krishna Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Madhune. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Prachari. Devi Shesha Ashmi Prasthaya. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So today we are reading from Grantara Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 23, text 56. And we have it on the board. And if I go fast with the translation, you can just let me know, please. I have a tendency to talk very fast. So first we do the words and then the recitation. Shantadi,
Shantadi,
Rasera,
Rasera,
Yoga,
Yoga,
Viyoga,
Yoga,
Duibheda,
Duibheda,
Sakhya,
Sakhya,
Vatsalye,
Vatsalye,
Yogadire,
Yogadire,
Aneka,
Aneka,
Vibheda, Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Please chant.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda. Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Shantadi-rasera yoga viyoga duibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
Sakhya-vatsalya yoga dhiraneka vibheda.
So the word by word translation. Shanta Adirasera,
Shantadi-rasera
of the mellows, beginning from neutrality.
beginning from neutrality.
Yoga,
Yoga,
connection.
connection.
Viyoga,
Viyoga,
separation.
separation.
Duibheda,
Duibheda,
two divisions.
two divisions.
Sakhya,
Sakhya,
in the mellow of friendship.
in the mellow of friendship.
Vatsalye,
Vatsalya,
in parental affection.
in parental affection.
Yoga Adira,
Yoga Adira,
of connection and separation.
connection and separation.
Aneka Vibheda,
Aneka Vibheda,
many
many
varieties.
varieties.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Delightfully on. Translation reads as follows. Thank you. Like I say, the darkness of my heart. The translation reads as follows. There are two divisions of each of the five mellows. Yoga, connection, and Viyoga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. I read once again. There are two divisions of each of the five mellows. Yoga, connection, and Viyoga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. Purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3-93, these divisions are described. Ayoga yoga vetasya prabhedao kathita ubhav. In the mellows of Bhakti Yoga, there are two stages, Ayoga and Yoga. Ayoga, in brackets, Yoga, is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3-94, which is the next verse, as follows. Sangha bhavo haridhiraya yoga iti kathyate ayoge tvan manasat tvam tat gunadi anusundhaya tat prapti upaya chintatya sarveshan kathita kriyaha. Learned scholars in the science of Bhakti Yoga say that when there is an absence of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, separation takes place. In the stage of Ayoga, or brackets separation, the mind is filled with Krishna consciousness and is fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. In that stage, the devotee searches out the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that in the stage of separation, all the devotees in the different mellows are always active in thinking of ways to attain Krishna's association. The word yoga, connection, is thus described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.129. Krishnena sangamo yastu sa yoga iti krityate. When one meets Krishna directly, that is called yoga. In the transcendental mellows of neutrality and servitorship, there are similar divisions of yoga and viyoga, but they are not variegated. The divisions of yoga and viyoga are always existing in the 5 mellows. However, in the transcendental mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many varieties of yoga and viyoga. The varieties of yoga are thus described. Yogopi kathita siddhis tushti sthitiriti tridha. Yoga, connection, is of 3 types: success, satisfaction, and permanence. This is quoted from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.129. The divisions of Ayoga, separation, are described as follows. Utkantitam viyogascheti ayogopi vidochyate. Thus, Ayoga has 2 divisions, longing and separation. This is quoted from Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.95. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Mandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desitarine Vancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktyavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashatakam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauratishe Namaha Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the verse and translation once again. Shantadira Shira Yoga Viyuga Dvipeda Sakhyavachalya Yoga Dhiraneka Vibheda. There are two divisions of each of the five mellows: yoga, connection, and viyuga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Before we begin, I would seek the blessings, humbly seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, so that I may be able to perform this devotional service primarily for my own purification. So, yes, very beautiful text if we really focus on it. It's about connection and separation. And when I first came upon this verse, it was a bit intimidating because this is a very high platform that we are speaking of experiencing the presence of Krishna in separation. However, when I pondered more on it, and especially when I read more and I heard a little bit about some of our Vaishnava acharyas, I realized our entire legacy actually is such. We are all in this viyuga. Our legacy, our acharyas. Gauriya Vaishnavism is all about rendering service in separation. And that is deemed by the Vaishnavas to be the highest. And of course, the embodiment of this longing and love and separation is Srimati Radharani, and more so Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared, Lord Sri Krishna appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So, of course, as we know in our Gauriya Vaishnava tradition, speaking of Srimati Radharani is a very confidential subject matter, because she is the heart of Krishna, and we, and especially me, we're not qualified to speak of Srimati Radharani, and we will mostly not today. But it's just a reminder how this mood of separation is portrayed by Srimati Radharani. And I was hoping to actually see this verse through the eyes of the lives of our Vaishnava acharyas, namely Madhavendu Puri, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Especially Sri Narottam Das Thakur really embodies this life of service and separation. And the song that we sang, the opening, the Puna Prarthana, the bhajan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, is actually authored by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. And if you deeply meditate on the song, it's also a song of separation. So this was the mood of Sri Narottam Das Thakur, a mood of separation, service and separation. But what is very interesting is this separation does not create sorrow. Of course, there is separation, there is pain, but amazingly, this results in bliss. And this is Achintya Veda Ved, this is the Achintya part of our tradition, that something that gives pain actually brings happiness. So that's very interesting. And this is the proof of how transcendence is beyond our limited material understanding. And therefore, in our Gauriya Vaishnava tradition, we accept, we follow and we accept. Because most of it we cannot understand. Because our acharyas have witnessed it, and therefore we accept this tradition. So, yes, I thought to read this verse from, which is very famously sung by Sri Madhavendra Puri, and then we will kind of weave it also into the purport here. And it's one of my favorite verses, and it reads like this. It's actually Madhavendra Puri reflecting the mood of Srimati Radharani. So this reads, Ai Dina Dayadra Natha He, Mathura Natha Kadavaloka Yase, Hridayam Tvad Aloka Kataram, Daita Brahmati Kim Karom Yaham. So the translation reads as follows. O deliverer of the fallen souls, from being the Lord of Vrindavan, now you have become the Lord of Mathura. Krishna always stays in Vrindavan from the core of his heart. However, due to being extremely afflicted in the pain of separation, Srimati Radharani said, O Lord of Mathura. But the very next moment Srimati Radharani said, my heart is jumping out from my chest, desiring to serve you personally. This internal expression of deep, intense love, coupled with an extreme expression of anger, is termed as Maan. Under the influence of this Maan, Srimati Radharani continued, my dear, without this service to you, what will I do? So this is the highest manifestation of feelings. And Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami actually also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita wrote a very nice commentary on this verse. I will read that too because it's so beautiful. Ek shloka kahiyachin Radha Thakurani, Tara Kripaya Spuriyache Madhavendra Vani, Kiba Gaura Chandra Iha Kare Ashvatana, Iha Ashvadivi Ara Nahi Chautha Chana. So here Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, because if you remember the verse I just read before is elaborate or is sung by Shri Madhavendra Puri, explicitly expressing the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami then praises Shri Madhavendra Puri and the verse, and he says, this verse, Ayedina Dayadranatha, was spoken by Shri Mati Radha Thakurani. By her mercy, this verse was manifested through the words of Madhavendra Puri. Shri Gaura Chandra tasted this verse. There is no fourth person who can taste this verse. So basically they talk about a love triangle that is between these three personalities, which is a very secret love language, which is between Srimati Radharani, Shri Madhavendra Puri and Lord Chaitanya. So a little bit about the life of Shri Madhavendra Puri. Perhaps not all of us are acquainted with it. So Shri Madhavendra Puri is a stalwart acharya of our lineage, and he was the spiritual master of one of the spiritual masters of Lord Chaitanya. And Madhavendra Puri is an exalted acharya in the line of deity worship, and he replicated this, or he exhibited this life or this love and separation. And we may be knowing the story of how Kheer Chora Gopinath. Anybody doesn't know the story of Kheer Chora Gopinath? Please raise your hand. So everybody knows? Because if you know, then I will not.
I don't know the name, maybe I know the story.
Okay. Where Krishna stole sweet rice for the devotee. Okay, I just say it. So basically, Madhavendra Puri had this one dream where a deity of Krishna revealed to him where he is, and it's then Madhavendra Puri discovered the deity, excavated and discovered the deity, and this is Srinathji. The deity is currently in North India, Northwest India, in Nath Dwara. He's worshipped there. But the interesting fact is that when this deity of the Lord appeared, it was self-manifested deity, and Madhavendra Puri established deity worship, the temple, and trained brahmanas, and the worship started. And one day, the deity desired for sandalwood from Madhavendra Puri. And the deity also, or Krishna also instructed Madhavendra Puri how to get the sandalwood. And the instruction was that you should now go to Puri, Shri Kshetra, and there you have, from that area you can get very nice sandalwood. So, and yeah, all the arrangements were made, and the Lord also told him how he can get it. So, Madhavendra Puri then came to this part of extended Bengal, and then he was in one of the districts, and where he heard that there is a deity of Gopal or Gopinath, and the way they make sweet rice is the most famous. And then Madhavendra Puri had the desire to learn how to do it, so that this is also a beautiful example of service and separation, that he was somewhere else, but he was actually, even when he heard something, he was thinking, oh, how can I worship my Lord better by learning something? So the life of Madhavendra Puri exhibits how the whole life of a devotee is a meditation of how to improve their service, So, Madhavendra Puri then went to the temple of Gopinath, and they were carrying this sweet, very small pots they give you, and very delicious sweet rice. It was being carried, and that's exactly the thought Madhavendra Puri had. Oh, delicious sweet rice. And then Madhavendra Puri reprimanded himself, thinking, how dare I do this? This is bhoga, the Lord has not accepted the bhoga yet, and I'm thinking of, oh, it's delicious, that means I'm tasting it. So he really reprimanded himself. And then he went away from that place, and the whole story is a bit long, but to cut it short, then Gopinath actually gave the dream to the pujari. And the pujari didn't just wave it away like, oh, some normal dream. No, he actually went and he checked, and Gopinath actually hid a little pot of sweet rice under his dhoti for Madhavendra Puri. So this pujari went to the marketplace and started yelling, who's Madhavendra Puri? Who's Madhavendra Puri? And Madhavendra Puri came, and then he asked, what's the matter? He said, Gopinath stole sweet rice for you. Here you go. And Madhavendra Puri became famous as his personality for whom God stole sweet rice. And of course Madhavendra Puri left that place, not desiring honor. But the story is so beautiful that the Lord became named after this act he did for Madhavendra Puri. Because he stole condensed milk, actually, kheer. So his name became Kheer Chora Gopinath, the one who steals condensed milk or kheer, sweet rice, for his devotee. So it's very beautiful how, the devotee tries to serve the Lord, and the Lord tries to reciprocate. And this is our lineage, actually, a lineage of service. And why I am actually starting with this point is to kind of conclude, hopefully, by the end of our discussion about service and separation. And next example I was thinking of is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in the lineage of Madhavendra Puri, having been initiated by Ishwara Puri, taking sannyas from him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, he was always feeling this mood of separation from Krishna and crying out for the Lord. And we know that in Jagannath Puri, he had these ecstatic symptoms. He ran to the sea upon seeing Lord Jagannath. Jai Shri Jagannath, Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Jai Shri Shri Konithai, So the Lord Chaitanya, and actually I always feel this, that New Jagannath Puri also, this mood is very strong in Shri Kshetra Jagannath Puri, so it's also very strong here. That's the mood where Lord Chaitanya is present and Jagannath is present. So it's the mood of actually connection and separation, both. So this verse is also very relevant to our temple that way. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is another example of this service and separation, or feeling this intense separation. And another personality who felt separation from Lord Chaitanya is Raghunath Das Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami came from a very affluent background, and then he heard about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and only hearing about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he developed this desire to be with him. And then he heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. And in those days, sannyas was very different. That if you took sannyas, that means nobody really saw you much. So he felt like, oh, then my chance is gone. But still, he heard Lord Chaitanya as in Puri, so he desired to give up everything and then run to Puri. And he tried to run away from his house. Why? Because he was feeling separation. He tried to run away once, he tried to run away twice, but because he came from such an affluent family, his parents were very attached to him. And every time Raghunath Das Goswami ran away, his parents got him back, brought him back home. They gave him a very nice establishment, gave him a very nice wife, but still Raghunath Das Goswami kept running away. And at some point they gave up and they let him run away and be with Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. And the life of Raghunath Das Goswami really shows that this service in separation ultimately leads to renunciation. So Raghunath Das Goswami then started serving or being in the association of Lord Chaitanya and his associates in Jagannath Puri, and he took shelter actually of Swarup Damodar, and a very close associate of Lord Chaitanya. So that's why Raghunath Das Goswami was known as Swarupera Raghunath, because he took shelter of Swarup Damodar. So Raghunath Das Goswami over there, then first what Raghunath Das Goswami was doing was, he was standing outside the Jagannath Puri temple, and when the pujaris would go at night, he would beg some prasadam, and that's how he sustained his life. He was the son of a very rich man, but he gave up everything to become a beggar on the streets. Why? Out of separation from Krishna. And then after some time, Lord Chaitanya asked Swarup Damodar, and he said, Swarup, I don't see Raghunath Das there. What is he doing? Where is he? He said, yes, he doesn't beg there for prasadam anymore. Now he goes and he sits with the beggars outside the market where prasadam is distributed, and there is where he takes. And then Lord Chaitanya became so pleased that he gave up all false ego, and deeply imbued in humility, he sits with the beggars. And after some weeks, Lord Chaitanya again asked Swarup, but Swarup, I don't see him now, ever there. What happened? And then Lord Swarup Damodar said, yes, he's not begging anymore. Then Lord Chaitanya said, then how does he maintain his life? Then Swarup Damodar said, you know what he does? Anybody knows what he does? How? Yes, Krishna Prabhu.
He would go to the place where they throw the spoiled prasadam, and he would take and wash it and then eat this one.
Yes. So that was his, I mean, for me it's so deeply moving actually, that he used to, you know, I mean, he could have just well sat there and begged and sustained himself, but no. The fire of separation of Krishna is so purifying that he chose to renounce everything, and then he goes, takes morsels of prasadam, which people considered spoiled, and then he washes it and he eats it. And that is his immense standard of renunciation. And why is it coming? Because we have to understand that it's not like the renunciation came first and then he became attached to Krishna. It's actually the other way around. It's so important for us to understand that he was so attached and in love with Lord Chaitanya that nothing had taste anymore. And naturally the renunciation came. So it's a very beautiful example. And when Lord Chaitanya heard this, he began to run. He ran to the house of Raghunath Das Goswami, and then he said, Raghunath, so now you're hiding such amazing prasadam from me. And Raghunath Das Goswami said, no, my lord, no, it's not true, I'm not. And then Lord Chaitanya said, oh, so now you will lie to me. And Raghunath Das Goswami humbly said, no, my lord, now I'm not taking any of your prasadam. And Lord Chaitanya pointed out, because he had washed some of this spoiled prasadam rice and it was drying, and Lord Chaitanya pointed out to this and he said, what is that? Give it to me. And Raghunath Das Goswami was like, no! You know, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes and he wants to eat rotten rice that you're saving for yourself. And then Raghunath Das Goswami said, my Lord, anything but not that. And then Lord Chaitanya insisted no. And Lord Chaitanya then took that. So imagine that the Lord was so deeply moved by what Raghunath Das Goswami did. So this is such a beautiful story of separation and connection, you know. That when we do service in separation, the more we are connected. The more Krishna also extends himself when we extend ourselves in service. So it's a very beautiful example. And similarly, there is this example of Narottam Das Thakur. I mean, he's like one of my most favorite personalities in our line of acharyas. And Narottam Das Thakur, the whole life was a story of separation but bliss. And of course, Narottam Das Thakur is the embodiment of Lord Chaitanya's love. We know that Lord Chaitanya, he entered into the river Padma and he started crying out, Narottam, Narottam, and everybody said, who's Narottam? Because there was no Narottam then. And Lord Chaitanya said, he will come. So he left his love with Padma, the river Padma and Padmavati, because in our transcendental tradition, everything is a personality. You know, that's why if the kartas fall on the floor, we touch it to the head. Why? Because it's Lord Balaram. So every item is a personality. Therefore, actually, my Guru Maharaj would be very explicit, emphatic about the point that a devotee never touches anything with the feet. So I remember like once I was moving the mat with the feet, and then I actually realized that, you know, a devotee is so careful to respect actually every item in the temple room or in life in general, because yeah, that's our spiritual culture. Because when we go back to the spiritual world, this is how it's going to be. Everything is a personality, so we begin our practice now. So, yeah, Narottam Das Thakur, in the Padma, then River Padma asked Lord Chaitanya, because she's a personality, she appeared and she said, how will I understand who's Narottam? And he said that as soon as he enters your river, your river will swell up. And it so happened that Narottam Das Thakur, it's a very long story, that Narottam Das Thakur again was the son of a king actually, a village king. And now this place Keturi is in Bangladesh, and I deeply desire someday I can visit it. But now it's in Bangladesh, and Narottam Das Thakur's father was the king of Keturi. So Narottam Das Thakur was never allowed to go out because the father knew about the prediction that your son will go crazy. No, I mean, that was not the prediction. But the prediction was that he will be renounced and he will give up everything. So, and we should always keep him away from the river. So he never was allowed to go out. But one day, a young boy, Narottam, he was called Naru, he sneaked out. And he went into the river Padma because he was curious. Why do I not go to the river Padma? And then what did he do? He jumped into the river. And as Lord Chaitanya predicted, the river swelled up. And immediately all the love of Lord Chaitanya which he left, it got embodied in Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam Das Thakur's body changed the color from dark to golden. And then he started crying there, feeling separation from Krishna, feeling separation from Lord Chaitanya. And you know, this beautiful bhajan that we sing, Jaya Nira Premadhana and all of this, where there's so much, actually so much mood of lamentation and separation, so deep. It's written by Shri Narottam Das Thakur. And the thing is, you know, when Narottam Das Thakur felt this, he wanted to see Lord Chaitanya. And he did not know that, you know, like he had this desire to meet different personalities. Then when he got to know Lord Chaitanya departed, because I think, if I'm not wrong, he heard from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who used to come to his house. Like, I don't know, I think it was Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami who used to come to his house to just lecture. And he heard that Lord Chaitanya departed. He was feeling a lot of attraction, and then he said, I want to meet Lord Chaitanya. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj said he departed. And he was so sad. And then Narottam Das Thakur had the desire to meet Rupa and Sanatan. So he ran away and went to Vrindavan, and on his way to Vrindavan, and then he got to know that they also departed. And imagine, you know, you give up everything for this one personality, and when you go there, you realize he's gone. It was such deep lamentation in his heart. And whoever he wanted to meet had, departed. And then eventually he took shelter of Loknath Goswami. And Loknath Goswami first said, "No, I will not give you initiation." But the story is Narottam Das won over his heart, and the story goes on. But this is our legacy actually, service and separation. And here, very beautifully, Prabhupada describes yoga and viyoga, but they are not variegated, So in different mellows, we have the 5 mellows. So this longing and separation. And actually yesterday, and ever since I read this verse, I was just meditating on this longing and separation, this ayoga. And yoga means actually meeting Krishna. So directly meeting Krishna is yoga. So when we are practicing bhakti yoga, you can imagine what that means. That our practice, everything we do in bhakti yoga is directly meeting Krishna. And the other face of the same coin is ayoga, viyoga, which means longing and separation. And yesterday, Shyamananda Prabhu, when he was reading, he quoted one verse from Rupa Goswami, also one of my favorite verses, but I can't recall it. Where, if somebody remembers, where Rupa Goswami says, he talks about this service and separation. And what is the price one pays? Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about loyalty and greed that one has to have to attain the path of devotional service. And Rupa Goswami says the price to pay for devotional service is eagerness. You have to be eager, very, 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 very keen, very eager for devotional service. And then you are given the gift of devotional service. So when we are sitting here, each of us have this gift of devotional service, and also our congregation members. It's such a privilege, actually. So, and we have to meet Krishna in service. We have to meet in service, and separation is actually also meeting Krishna. And just 2 points I want to quickly end with. One is, of course, we had this explanation of Srimati Radharani. He was in the mood of separation. And then this is also mentioned that Krishna actually never leaves Vrindavan, right? That's also mentioned in the purport. So how is it, if Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, that Srimati Radharani was feeling separation? Any guesses? Anati? Actually, it's the beautiful part is, at least that's how I heard from His Holiness Bhakti Sharma Maharaj in the lecture, that the thing is, Rajendra Nandan Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So it was always Vasudev Krishna, the son of Vasudev, who went to Mathura, but Rajendra Nandan Krishna never actually leaves Vrindavan. So how is it that the gopis and Radha, they were almost giving up their life in separation? Because this is the beautiful magic of Yogamaya, our Subhadra Devi actually, that what did Yogamaya do? Just to feel the separation, the mood that had developed, because Krishna was there, and so when the time came for Krishna to leave, Vasudev Krishna left, but Rajendra Nandan Krishna was still in Vrindavan. But just hearing that Krishna has left, they felt so much pain that even if Krishna came in front of them, they thought they are dreaming, and they cried even more, So even if Krishna was there in Vrindavan, the mood of separation was still present. So Krishna actually never leaves Vrindavan. But the gopis and Srimati Radharani, they were in such deep mood of separation that even if they saw Krishna, they just thought that, oh, this mood of separation is so strong, and I'm so strongly feeling this pain that I imagine that Krishna is here. So that really proves how Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And I just wanted to end very quickly with a short story. This story is of, it's a very day-to-day story, but if you really meditate on it, we can really feel, our connection with Krishna, the spiritual master, and how service in separation is performed. And the story goes like this, that, the child has a mother, and the mother takes care of the child, and the child is of a fair age, and at one point the mother disappears from the vision of the child, and the child begins to then just feel this anxiety, and then the mother begins to actually play hide and seek with the child, you know. Sometimes she shows herself, sometimes she doesn't. But then the aim of the child becomes that when he's anxious to see the mother, the aim of the child becomes to just look out for the mother everywhere, in everything. So similarly, the life of a devotee is also like this, that now we have so many layers of conditioning, you know, but when we really give up this layer of conditioning, then we feel actually the separation from Krishna, and then there is this like strong sense of love, and then you feel the separation, and then you actually want to then see Krishna and everything, and it's so beautiful actually, in a way, that this separation that we feel from Krishna actually does not give us sorrow. I mean, of course, our acharyas, they feel so much separation, but like we were saying, Moshama Patitu Prabhu na pai. So even Narottam Das Thakur is saying that I feel this separation, and I am the most fallen, and so I am most worthy. So this separation is not the cause of sorrow, but the cause of the utmost ecstasy. And this is Krishna consciousness actually. So we are separated from Krishna, but we don't feel it because of the many layers of conditioning that we have. But some point, through the practice, and that's why we render devotional service, you know, to remind ourselves that this is it. This is service in separation is the highest, and service, when we do it, it's a reminder of Krishna. And when we are reminded of Krishna, we think of him even more, we feel even more separated. And the beauty is there is connection and separation at the same time. Why? Because Prabhupada says that even if these individuals in these mellows are separated, they are connected, and through thinking. So, as we know, Prabhupada always said that always remember Krishna, never forget him. So this is basically this connection and separation, yoga and viyoga. And the more we feel this longing to reunite with Krishna, the more sincere we can become in the path of devotional service. And just to now end, final words, is that actually we have to be clear, we come from this legacy of connection and separation. And the more we connect with our previous acharyas, and especially their prayers, the more we can develop this mood of how to render devotional service. And of course now our devotees, and I speak for myself also, we barely have time to read. But we have to make time to connect with our previous acharyas through their songs especially, and their books of course, but also these songs, they're very short, they don't take much long to go through, but they're very deep. So yeah, with this I think we come to a very beautiful end of how connecting with our acharyas, we can connect with the mood of service and separation, at the same time simultaneously experience the connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the gift of Srila Prabhupada, the gift of service, the privilege of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radharani Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. So because we are over time, we skip questions and answers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Devasri Radhika Devi.
Jai, Vancha Kalpa Krishna, Kripa Sindhu Japatananta
Change it.
Personality of Godhead in Krishna, and also he relates with him like a stepfather.
There is different. This is Vasudev is the father, and Vasudev is Krishna.
Yeah.
So it's a longer R. So it's important to, because otherwise they get mixed up. So Vasudev is the father of the Lord, and in the beginning, when the Lord appeared in his four-armed form, you know, he saw that it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Lord realized that, I mean, he understood that he is a special personality, but then the Lord again put himself back in the two-handed form. And then also we have to understand the working of Yoga Maya. So, and there's a whole history of that Vasudeva and Devaki, they had prayed for a son in the previous life. So basically, Vasudev, he understands that he's a special personality, but he doesn't treat him as if he's treated special, in the sense that he knows that, you know, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he also treats him as his son. And that's where Yoga Maya comes in, you know, that this both can happen together. And of course, the mood in Vrindavan is entirely different, it's not so opulent. Because when Devaki and Vasudeva, they actually treat Krishna as his son. So for that to really happen, despite having seen his four-handed form, is when Yoga Maya comes and she creates a couple of delusion. So that's the relationship that Vasudeva has with Krishna. And you were talking about the Chaturvyuha?
Yes, it's to me.
Yeah, Vasudeva actually is the name of Krishna. So now what happens is, from Krishna comes the three Vishnus, right? Karma-Lakshya Vishnu, Karma-Lakshya Vishnu, Shiva-Lakshya Vishnu. And then these Vishnus further have different manifestations. So the Chaturvyuha is Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna and Vasudeva. These are the four who, from Vishnu, then it further expands. So basically, this Vasudeva expansion is one of expansions of Krishna through the Vishnu form.
But for example, when we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or on which Krishna, which aspect of Krishna?
Vishnu.
This Vishnu aspect, and we this like level of purity.
No, because the thing is, like it's because for us in the material sense it's so black and white, but it's actually the name of the Lord. It's like you hold your nose like this, or you hold it like this, So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is actually referring to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So although it uses the term Vasudeva, but it actually refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when the Lord appeared to Dhruva, who was standing, Prahlad Maharaj was standing, Yeah, and he appeared before Prahlad Maharaj in the Nrsimha form, So, yeah, when he was chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, he was chanting the name of the Lord, although it may have the name of Vasudeva. So, yeah, we don't essentially need to discriminate that, because it has Vasudeva, maybe it refers only to Vishnu. Because we saw Lord Nrsimha Dev came in. So he's one of the 10 avatars. And he's the Supreme Personality himself. So, and actually also in spiritual understanding, there is a difference, but there is no difference. Achintya Bheda Dev.
But which quality has every name of the Lord has its Lord personally, and the Lord as person has a quality, and which quality has Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya?
What do you mean by this?
I mean, when we
you can give me an example.
I mean, what do we need to think when we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya? Because
Krishna.
Yeah, but Krishna is different. For example, 64 qualities, and Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. I was my question about Vasudeva and Krishna, because it's.
You mean in terms of quality, they have less qualities or something like that?
No, I mean Vasudeva is a concrete name of Krishna. And maybe it has some qualities in it, in connection with this relationship with Vasudeva and Krishna, because
I don't think it's like that. I mean, I haven't come across it like that. Yeah, I don't think it goes back to his connection with Vasudeva, the name. Yeah.
But we often name Krishna as Vasudeva, and also in Vajans or somewhere. And when
it is the name of Krishna.
Yes, it's the name of Krishna, but every name has a bit different aspect of his personality.
Like a meaning.
Yes, meaning. And I don't understand what does it mean. Vasudeva.
Vasudeva means the son of Vasudeva.
Yes, but which relationship between Vasudeva and Krishna?
Father and son.
But it's Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, they have a different relationships.
Yes.
And what is the difference? What's the difference between love of Nanda Maharaj to Krishna and between?
Because Krishna was in a very different mood in Dwarka.
It's Aishwarya.
Aishwarya, yes. And Nanda Maharaj, she was a common young boy. So the mood is like Vrindavan and Dwarka mood, the different Mathura mood. One is opulent and one is more intimate and loving, like that.
But this relationship with Vasudeva is also with.
It's reverence.
Reverence,
yes. There is respect, reverence.
Yeah. But still, Vasudeva, he cared about Krishna.
Of course, as his son, yes. Because when he was feeling separation when they met, Kurukshetra, I think, isn't it? Or when they reunited, then he fell by sun. So that description is also there. But if you, I don't know if you've read the Krishna book. No? You have read it?
I have read, but I think I have read more and more because I'm not keep it in my mind.
Yeah, I think there we have this good understanding of this differences, in the mood. So, yeah. Yeah, but the mood is different. One is Aishwarya Bhav and the other one is Braja Bhav. It's different, totally different. Yeah.
But when we speak before Bhagavatam, for example, Vasudeva, it means, I think that we have to, with readiness, take this knowledge and also understand that in this Krishna as a personal, it's not like unpersonal Brahman or something like this, and that in this transcendental good vibration, here is a seat of our relationship with Krishna. It's here because Vasudeva and Krishna, they had this concrete relationship.
Yeah, I mean, that could be one way of looking at it, but maybe also nice to check it, if it's nice to find out.
So I want to know.
I haven't come across this understanding, but you can ask Krishna Premarupa Prabhu, maybe he knows. Yeah, he would know better. But but to kind of meditate of our seed, of our relationship, or based on this seed, I'm not sure. That might be a little speculation. Because the name actually glorifies the Lord, We don't find our relationship in the name. The name is a glorification of the Lord. So we are nowhere, when we chant the name, we don't have to find our relationship with that name. So we are not part of the equation anymore because we are glorifying the Lord through the name. For example, Madhusudana. Krishna killed the demon named Madhu. That's the meditation. We glorify him, killer of the demon Madhu. But we are not part of it. So the names are actually glorification. So when we chant, we praise the Lord with his different names because it's pleasing to him. But it's, like the seed of our relationship being there, I don't think it's part of it. Yeah.
And also, I wanted to ask about your lecture. You say that all activities that we make in our spiritual practice, it's about connection with Krishna because you want to find Krishna. And also you spoke about this love and separation. So, in which stage, even when we make our practice, we feel still this separation, but not connection.
Like Prabhupada said, cry for Krishna, so that we feel separation. So the Lord, please give me service because I feel separation from you.
Because, for example, I make something and I feel like joy inside, and I listen about this love and separation, and I feel that if I try to love and separation, it's like external. Yes, we have to practice on our level. Yes. And
that's why I said in the beginning that this stage is very high stage. And Srimati Radharani's mood, and we're nowhere close to even discussing it. So what we do is we just follow what Prabhupada has given us. That's what I was saying. Like we just follow what Prabhupada has given us and everything will naturally come. Prabhupada told us, cry to Krishna while chanting, we just cry to Krishna. Why? With the mood of a servant. Give me service, I feel happy. So we just do that.
Yeah, so we just follow this process. And if on our stage we don't feel separation,
we won't feel. That's why Prabhupada had to really sit us down and say, chant at least 16 rounds. Because if we felt separated from him, we would want to chant all the time. But at least I don't want to chant all the time. I feel like, I have to get my 16 rounds done. But if we really had this mood of separation from the Lord, we would forget to sleep and eat, and we would only do service. We would only want to chant. That doesn't happen on our stage. Why? Because we're not there. And probably will not be there for a long time. But then again, there's mercy. And why would the Lord be merciful? If we serve Him Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada is a very personal associate of the Lord. And if we catch on to his story, then he said, I will take you to the spiritual world through the back door. So our mood really is that Prabhupada told us that when you chant, I don't know how to chant, and I don't know how to cry. But Prabhupada said, chant for Krishna. So I try. And we can only end that way. Because there are so many layers of material conditioning. Even if we think, oh, I'm feeling separation or love, it's all contaminated. Because we have lifetimes of this feeling. So best is just become loyal servant to Srila Prabhupada. And just do what he says. He says chant, follow the four regulated principles, read the Bhagavad Gita every day. And simply by doing this, we will develop attachment to the process of doing it. And then our journey will begin. As soon as we reach the stage of nishtha, of steadiness, that's a sign that our journey has begun. But at least I know I am not in the stage of nishtha. Nishtha is a very high stage. So we are at least starting to put the engine on. The engine is not on yet. So, but if we stick to what Prabhupada is saying, he will come really help us put the engine on. Because in our spiritual practice, nothing happens without help.
So, am I correctly understand that we have just to follow a process and practice on our level, and even if we...
but the heart also has to be there.
Heart?
The heart. In the sense that when you do the...
Yes, I mean not external practice, but try to go deep in this process. And even when we listen, hear something about separation, or that it's our goal and we have to go to this, and so we don't have to make some special effort to do it when if we don't feel it now.
Yeah.
So it will
because then it will become
it has to be naturally.
Yes.
And according to our attachment to Krishna, when we follow our sadhana, for example, read, chant, communicate with devotee, so then we will have this stronger desire.
Then actually our heart begins to get purified. Once our heart, because it's like very thick layer of dust. With this practice we begin to purify the heart. And after purification of the whole heart, then there is hope that we will start, we will start getting attached to Krishna. Right now we are on a stage where we have no attachment. I'm not saying there is no attachment, there may be, but the attachment doesn't run very deep. At least in my case, there is some attachment, but it's not deep enough. And that's a sign that there is some purification of heart required. And through the process of following what Srila Prabhupada is giving us, there is purification of the heart. And it's not like purification happens and then love happens. They happen side by side.
And purification means that I want to chant more, I want to listen about Krishna more, or what
and also distaste in material things, Like right now, I want to wear a nice sari, look pretty, eat nice food. I will not want that. Because if you look at the lives of our 6 Goswamis, they came from very rich backgrounds. They were scholars, some of them were governors. But Lord suddenly tasted everything. And they used to just take a ton of coffee, and that's all it is. They didn't have to do this. But at the same time, the other example is of Adi Kundalini, he was a king. He was spitting pan and people were fanning him with chamara. But as soon as he heard a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, he fell down crying. So what is actually important is the internal thing. So like these examples are there to tell us it's not an external thing. So this attachment to Krishna, this love for Krishna is a very internal process. And it's very secretive. And now we glorify the 6 Goswamis, but when the 6 Goswamis were there, they thought, I'm the worst person alive. That's how we used to think. That's humility. So the more we develop attachment to Krishna, love establishes in our heart, or reawakens in our heart, not establishes, the more humility comes. And what does that mean? That we will want less honor, we will have less material attachments. in the sense that even if something happens, we see Krishna in it. That's a sign that the transformation is happening. You know? So like these, then of course, the biggest attachment to the holy name, that's the biggest sign. You know, that I want to chant. I will not want to stop chanting again. You know, I want to, you know, offer more and more nicer things to Krishna and service. So your whole life becomes about Krishna. You are not there part of your life anymore. You are there, but you're not your life anymore. It belongs to Krishna. And always you think about preaching more, you actually preach. And the thing is, it's something not we have to meditate about, or not. It's not a goal we can reach. You know? Of course, it's nice to think that I want to purify myself, but with the understanding that it's a very unreachable goal. But Prabhupada is there, so we have hope. You know? So in a way, he has shown us what is the highest goal possible, and yeah, if we introspect, we also know where we stand. So our best mechanism then, because Prabhupada had guaranteed that even if you're not pure, if you just chant your 16 rounds every day, follow the 4 regulative principles, and you read the Bhagavad Gita every day, he will ensure you go back to Godhead. But at the same time, he also said avoid offenses. That means when you do these practices, your heart should really be there. You know, when you read, that means your mind, heart, body, everything is very concentrated. So that attention, it is said, is a sign of love. The more you become attentive in Krishna consciousness, then we can feel the more we are becoming, you could say, inclined to be aware of Krishna's presence. I mean, I can already say, like sometimes I sit and I sing, but I'm not thinking of Krishna. I'm not thinking of something else, I'm thinking of nothing really. So, yes, like, yeah, I mean, the process of Krishna consciousness is a very, very sweet, soft and very internal, secret process. And if I were to describe it, it's a very secretive process, and it happens without anybody knowing it. Even we will not notice, but the transformation will happen. Of course, we can have the aim and the goal for it, and we will keep striving for it. But when it happens, it just, you know, you wouldn't even know it happened. You know? And then what do? Then our attachment to the spiritual master and his words becomes very strong. And all a devotee really strives to do is become a loyal servant of the spiritual master. That's all. From there on, because we have a whole chain of disciplic succession. Once we latch onto it, then there is no one. But of course, it's very nice to also introspect and personally see, am I growing? And Prabhupada gave us one example that if you're hungry and so basically when you eat, and you're hungry and you eat, then you have to go ask somebody else if you're satisfied? No, you just feel it, you know. So similarly, in the process of Krishna consciousness, there are symptoms. The more you advance, you become more humble. Then you will not want honor or prestige. There will be no pride. You will respect Vaishnavas more. Your relationship with the Vaishnavas will be very much more enhanced. You will receive a lot of mercy. So these are symptoms. You know. So this will naturally come. So yeah, and these symptoms are indicative of the fact that now the focus light is on you. You become a recipient of mercy. So then, yeah, the advancement will also come. Yeah. Thank you for your sincere questions. Hare